Hey, FlimsyLunchTray with you today, and I have a battle for you. This is a battle that, by all accounts, we probably should have lost. But I want to highlight what it looks like to when the time comes when you realize you have to either kind of fall back or push in. Kind of basically what I'm going to get at here is decision making. Realizing the position that your team is in and when you need to make the play and how to make it happen. This is a battle where we just almost get 3,000 base experience, which is really good. Traditionally, you might get something in the 1,500 to 2,000 range, I would say, for being on a running team. But today we're almost going to get 3,000. This is also a battle where 3 of the 12 team members, 3 of us are going to be responsible for killing 83% of the enemy team. So it is a carry in that sense. When I posted this battle, like Hall of Fame results in the World of Warships Discord server, one of the members of that server asked, what did he say? He said, "Do I need an Advil?" But yeah, so I'm not going to say too much more in advance, but I want to talk about some things, some decisions I make in this battle, as I'm just still absolutely in love with the Minotaur. So moving up here with our Holland, he's going to be kind of a frustrating teammate, and you're going to see why throughout the battle. But I'm moving up. I'm sticking close with him. I'm supporting him. They have a thunderstorm that's moving in from the 10-9-8 line. That'll eventually get over here. We did have some planes that flew close, but they kind of bypassed this and going for one of the battleships in the rear. And I've moved up close to here, and we smoked up. We've gone dark. Squishy, if I'm the first ship that's spotted in a situation like this, it's not going to be good, and is going to probably mean I will get citadeled with just how squishy the Minotaur is if I don't get in this position. Now, one of the things I did notice I was RPF'd, so once I popped smoke, I went ahead and popped hydroacoustic search. There's this nice gap here for me, and so I get a little confident thinking that I'm positioned well, but I turn a little too much, and I'm going to eat one of these torpedoes on the side, so I didn't realize how much the ship was continuing to turn to starboard, so unfortunately ate one of those torpedoes when we didn't have to. So that's kind of a diss I would give myself in this replay. And I'm going to give myself at least one more diss later on, and I'll point out where that is. Just something I wasn't paying attention to. So I'm trying to get shots off on the Kremlin. When you're dealing with battleships and cruisers that are facing towards you or away, you want to try to focus on the superstructure as much as possible because you're not going to get much damage with the Minotaur's AP shells until they are decently sewing side, especially broadside. You're able to do a lot of damage to ships, cruisers, and battleships. So you'll see that here shortly. So with this Henry the Fourth back here. And we're continuing to put fire on him. Now I am keeping in mind the targets that I am shooting at to try to show as minimal sight as possible. So you can see I'm quite angled if he were to take a blind shot off in the smoke, which he hasn't yet. But our smoke's about to dissipate, and we have torpedoes coming in. So it tells me it's the, I believe it's the enemy. Yeah, the enemy Holland is over here. So we get a glimpse of him. I'm going to get some defitted ribbons in here and see if we can do damage to the Holland. You'll see even later on that it's also difficult to do damage to, depends on the destroyer, but most destroyers are either face you bow in or stern away. It can be really hard to do damage on them. So I'm trying to take the shots that I can. I'm not too worried at this moment because I know I have a good heal. So we're going to put out that double fire. We're going to pop the heal. We're going to turn out. It can be dangerous doing this, of course. I got 4 ships targeting me right now. But my smoke's about to come back off cooldown. So I can use that to go dark. So our friendly Holland has backed away. Not entirely sure why he's playing so far back, because there is no radar besides the Des Moines over here, and the Des Moines is even further away, not inside that 10-kilometer range. And with the Holland farther away, it means it's more difficult for me to get the spotting that I need when I'm in a smoke screen to be able to put a continuous effective fire. So that's kind of one of the double-edged swords when you have ships that aren't, enemy ships aren't firing, like this Kremlin just fired, so that means get to focus on him now. The Holland was supporting us again, so we stopped short of that when we smoked up, so that's good. And now I'm going to lay into the Kremlin. Now there's going to be something that happens here at the Kremlin that I'm going to point out to you for you to help to be aware. Just because you're in a smoke screen doesn't mean that an enemy ship won't shoot at you. The Minotaur, since you have such a high reload time, it's quite easy for ships to get a relatively good idea of where you might be in the smoke if they're effective at shooting in the smoke screen. And because of that, they could easily citadel you. I citadeled Minotaurs, Neptunes multiple times in the smoke screen. But because all of the Kremlin's guns are facing the smoke screen, there's no enemy ships behind me. It's just me here, but you can see his guns are just focused, and he shoots his rear turret there. That I'm going to stay dark. I'm not going to risk my health from to accidentally get a penetration or citadel on me. And I will open up on him once he starts turning away, which you see, or his turrets away, as you see he's turning his turrets towards, I think, the Hindenburg. And there's Holland torpedoes again. So that's why it's important to have the hydroacoustic search up while we're in the smoke screen. So Kremlin's almost dead because I had to leave the smoke. It's now I must kill the Kremlin immediately before he's able to get a salvo off on me. We do eliminate him. Now, in the meantime, if you've been paying attention to the mini-map, look where our Holland is. He's all the way up on C4, just sitting there behind the island, just out of the battle. So I don't know if he just decided to take a break, just quit because he wasn't happy about what was happening on this flank or what. But that's going to put myself in a difficult position. Our team is ahead on ship kills. We've killed 2 to the loss of R1. But we don't control any of the caps, which is a huge problem because you can see in just over 5 minutes that the enemy team will win. So I noticed this. I call it out in chat saying, we need caps, because calling it out now, even though we're not that far ahead behind points, but the enemy team will quickly gain in points, and the gap will be very wide for us to be able to catch up point-wise. So I can't just lead this flank, and I'm not going to. I have the Republique. I have the, is it the FDG? Not entirely sure. I can't quite tell. Oh, no, it's the Hindenburg. Republique, the Hindenburg, and I'm spamming the map on the Holland, wanting him to get back into the battle. But I can't lead this flank. I have to be here. But at the same time, I can't necessarily push right into the cap at this point in time because, there's, as you saw, that they've been paying attention to me, the enemy team has, when I've gotten close to Alpha. I don't have the Holland with me, so I don't have any spotting or screening happening, which means that I'm going to be out-detected, of course, by the Holland, since his consum is better than mine. So I've decided to move back in. The Des Moines opens up on the Hindenburg, I believe it is. So we're going to start putting some shots into him, and then you can just watch how the armor, the AP, just wrecks broadside targets. Like there's a 3,000, 5,000, 4,000. I didn't quite catch what that one is. But the damage goes up really quickly on a broadside target. And we're able to punish this Des Moines for that. So we get rid of him, so it means one less target on this flank for us to deal with. In the smoke screen, I'm going to start opening up on the Henri. I think I'm pronouncing that ship correctly. And we kind of come out of smoke a little bit, which was fine. I kind of wanted to try to see if we can find out where targets are. So we're going to disengage, or at least turn away. But I'm fine with opening up on the Henri as long as he's out. I'm giving a little bit of side, kind of bait him a little bit. I'm ready to turn in as soon as possible. So I'll slam the brakes. We turn hard to starboard, and we avoid all of that salvo, I believe we did, coming from the Hindenburg. Now this Hindenburg player is really good, as we dodge more torpedoes, avoid more from the enemy Holland. So the Hindenburg player has been playing it really well. He's playing with his throttle a lot, like I've been doing. But the constant him going in and out is kind of frustrating just because we are on a thunderstorm front. So we've angled away. We're going to turn out. I'm going to go ahead and go dark. Our Holland player has decided to actually finally leave the island. I'm highlighting in chat again that we need caps badly. You can see the enemy teams are already over 730 points, while we're still at 355 with nothing ticking in. Now, so the enemy team, at this point, they're going to win, if you look at my score timer, in just under 2 minutes and 15 seconds. So this is a decision moment that I have to make the play. It's risky. I don't have support. We lose our Montana. Now the enemy team is just 1:30 from winning. I have to push in. I have to be aggressive here. So I'm RPF still, of course, from the enemy Holland. And we're just going to have to open up. And I'm just going to keep pushing in. I'm going to try my best if I can get into A and smoke up. And try to see if I can force these 2 cruisers away with my high DPM. Or at least high reload time. No one likes to get chewed up by a Minotaur broadside. So often ships will try to angle away if they're smart. And because I'm pushing in, I notice there's 3 targeting me. I'm expecting torpedoes again from the Holland. And so I pop up my hydroacoustic search, and I go actually ahead and decide to burn the heel. Now, I might not have gotten full use out of the heel, but I'm taking a lot of damage as I push in, and I want to have my next heel ready to go when I need it, you know, in minute 20, less than a minute 20 from now. So pushing in Holland, I don't think he expected me to play so aggressively. He shows himself. Now watch when the Holland turns away and he pops a repair party, as I lag a little bit here, and he's healing. And watch how hard it is actually to get good damage in on the Holland here as I'm pushing in on him. Because I don't necessarily want to smoke up yet until he's dead, as we take a good chunk of damage there, and we kill him. And I'm in the cap, so now is the time to smoke up, as I was focusing on trying to avoid those shells. I'm going to keep popping up on shells off on this Hindenburg. He's reversing, it means he's going kind of slow. So I'm even going to keep shooting, even though I can't tell where exactly he is. And then I can see the traces of his shells. I think our Holland picks up the Hindenburg there as he comes back in. And doing my best to stay angled in. You can see we're not taking a whole bunch of damage right now, but our heel is coming off of cooldown. Now, in the meantime, if you're looking at the mini-map, this is where you can get easily tunnel visioned. You can see the Henri is actually pushing in on me. And he's actually even dumped torpedoes. And I thought I could continue to reverse to avoid. But unfortunately, I played this one wrong again. I guess I actually have 3 critiques for myself. Or I should have just accelerated sooner to avoid this, because I'm going to take this on my port. And that's going to be unfortunate, because the heel I had, most of it just kind of was back to the normal because I ate that torpedo. Now the Henri, I'm not firing because he thinks I'm further back in the smoke, but I'm actually going to be aggressive. The third critique I have is that the Henri, he dumped the torpedoes from this side, and his turret traverse, you can see it's not quite fast enough to keep up with me here. I should have just waited to use a second set of torpedoes as I was coming along broadside and kept a bow in on the Hindenburg. But because I thought he still might have the torpedoes from that side, you can see I faced bow in towards him. And because of that, I showed broadside to the Hindenburg, and the Hindenburg was able to punish me. Now I'm still kind of yelling in team, trying to encourage my team in the chat to cap. We've taken Bravo. You can see they only have 2 enemy ships left, and while we have 5, but they're really close to 900 points. The Holland has decided to show back up now. So you can see he's got some torpedoes in the water. And maybe, hopefully, he'll actually go into the cap. Because being in this position now, there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to claw back. Now, at the Hindenburg, you can see he's having to turn into angle because our friendly Hindenburg is firing at him. If he shows broadside, he's going to eat a good chunk of damage from the Hindenburg. So at the same time, the Hindenburg knows that there's torpedoes, there's a Holland around, and he wants to protect the cap. So he's actually in a really difficult position, and you can see that him turning into the cap is actually going to cost him his life, as even the Holland there was opening up on him. So now the Holland needs to get into the Alpha cap immediately. And our Montana needs to be able, I believe that's a Montana? Yeah, in Charlie. He needs to stay in there and he needs to cap it. So our play here on the A flank, we did most of it alone, per se. I mean, we did have some support from behind here and there, but it wasn't what I would have liked. Like, having the Holland up close and beside me would have been better. Having RPF would have told me even like the enemy Holland that he was where he was at. So the RPF is what I'm deciding to get for my a 21 point commander. I have 18, 19 point commander right now. But you can see that when we decided to go ahead and push in, that there was no other choice. We had to push in or we're going to lose. That we were able to do so effectively. We just, once one of our friendly Montana died, we had a minute 30 before the enemy team was going to win. And pushing in, we took out the Holland, we smoked up, we were contesting the cap, and then we were able to take out the Henri. So we were able to kill 4 ships on this flank overall. So all in all, was pleased with the performance. Of course, you can kind of see me in chat. Like, I feel like I had so much invested in this battle that I really wanted our team to win. And I really want them to kill the CV in time, especially since our Montana has left the cap. If we don't kill the CV in a minute 45, the enemy team will win regardless, even though we control 2 of the 3 caps. And it looks like our Republic is actually moving towards C cap, so that's good. But the health pool is so low on the Russian CV that he is going to die. So, a very edge of the seat game for myself. And I'm showcasing the Minotaur here for you. So let's go ahead and look at the post-battle results and see where we landed. Almost 600,000 credits received, over 12,400 experience, 778 free XP, and almost 170,000 damage. You can see how many shell hits we had, 4 destroyed, some spotted ribbons and defended ribbons mixed in there as well. And then going to the team score, you can see we ended with 2,956 base experience. And then the Hindenburg and the Montana, shout out to both of them for playing excellent. For the Hindenburg, taking out the enemy Hindenburg there at the end, allowing our Holland to push in to be able to take Alpha Cap. You can see post-battle results. We actually had over 2.5 million potential damage in the Minotaur, so pretty good stuff there. You can see the damage is mostly spread out among the 5 ships, all on our flank, and trying to win and take the flank and take Alpha Cap, which our Holland was ultimately able to do. Then you can see results with the credits and experience with having a premium count versus without premium. So I hope this battle helps in talking about the paying attention to the, how many teammates do you still have in battle, how many ships did the enemy team have left, what's the score looks like, and the score timer mod is really helpful. I'll throw a video a link in the description if you want to learn how to download that to have for yourself. It's really valuable. You get it through the World of Warships mod station, and I run some other mods there as well. But yeah, just showing the strength of the Minotaur, really doing our best to hold the flank, and when to make some decisions. And of course, you kind of see 3 instances where I critiqued myself. I got a little too confident and think I was going to avoid the Howland torpedo salvo and ate one on the bow. I decided too late to go forward, and so we ate a torpedo from the Henri. And not realizing that that was a torpedo from his side, I could have just sailed straight out of the smoke, kept the bow in towards the Hindenburg, even though I'm showing broadside to the Henry, and could have saved one of those 2 torpedo racks to kill him. But overall, still really pleased. It's always good to be able to take the time to reflect on battles and where you could have done better at. So, if you liked today's video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Subscribe if you want to see more. And if you haven't subscribed, thanks and really appreciate it. Until next time, take care.